I met Erika for the first time at this office, Turning Point USA office.
So we met at the office opening, the Turning Point headquarters office opening, the first one, August 2018, and I had no idea what to expect because I was coming into the office from the standpoint of they were potentially going to hire me.
And I knew of Erika, I saw Erika, and we had a very brief meeting at the office, and then I had my first conversation with Erika.
He'll tell it differently, so I'll tell you from my side. I was in the Hamptons. I get a random DM on my phone. I have zero service when I'm out there, and all of a sudden this DM flashes up and it's like, Charlie Kirk DM'd you. Because it's so Charlie. August 31st, 2018. Hey, shoot me a text at, and gave me his number. I didn't respond for a few days.
I Instagram messaged her and said I urgently needed to meet with her, and she said why. And it was partially a job interview and also partially something else.
So when I eventually messaged him back via text, I was like, hey, nice to officially meet you again. What did you want to talk about? Because it was so just random. And he was like, hey, I'm coming into town, into New York City. Let's meet at Bill's Burgers. Mind you, I've lived in Manhattan now for about 5 years. I've never eaten at Bill's Burgers before, so that I guess was a sign like, let's take an adventure tonight for dinner and go find Bill's Burgers and meet your future husband that you have no idea is about to be your future husband.
And so then we had a great time, and it was about 15 minutes in, I quickly pivoted away from wanting to hire her to wanting to date her, and now we know how that worked quite well.
He got there first, only because he was coming back from Fox and he kind of beat me there. And I got out of my taxi and we get our table, we sit down, and he orders. The thing that I love though is he was so sweet to the waitress. So that was something that I immediately noticed, that he was like really kind to them. And we ordered our food, and then that's when the grilling started happening. Like that's when the interview process started happening. So I'm like, okay, this is a legit interview. Like let's go. I'm glad I had my coffee. Like I'm ready to debate you about Aristotle and Socrates, and you want to talk about theology? Let's do it.
Well, I'd never met anyone quite like her. I remember I called Tyler and I said he's going to have to find talent somewhere else. And whatever opening he thought she would fill, that was not going to work. And Tyler was trying to coach me down because he said that she was way out of my league. And he's still right, by the way.
So after we got through literally half of the Constitution, going through why I'm living in New York and how I shouldn't be living in New York, and what my 5-year plan is, what success looks like to me, what I studied in college, why, just like every topic you could imagine that is close to Charlie Kirk's heart is what we discussed and went through. When it was like 3.5 hours, and they were starting to close up, and he was finished with his burger, just sat there, and I'm like looking around like, okay, did I get the job? Like, what's going on? I don't need the job, but did I get it? What's going on? And he goes, you know, I'm not gonna hire you. It's like, okay, well, thank goodness I didn't need the job because I'm already doing stuff here in Manhattan. He goes, I'm gonna date you. And I kind of just stood, I froze. I mean, wouldn't you? I literally froze. I was just like, okay, was not expecting this at all. And I was like, do you want to how about we just be friends first? Like, see where it goes?
And I told her I had enough friends and that I didn't want to be friends with her, so that was kind of a non-starter. But if she wanted to date, that would be great. I had enough friends. And I think she still finds that to be very funny, but I meant it.
And without hesitation, and like zero hesitation, he goes, I have enough friends in my life. So either we're going to date or we're not. Do I have any time to think about it? Yeah, you have until tomorrow night when I take you out for dinner, and then you can give me your answer at dinner tomorrow night, but know that the offer's on the table and I want to date you. Okay. So then afterwards, it was like, thank you for this meeting. I need to go walk home now so I can process what happened. And I literally remember walking home from like 54th and 5th all the way to 30th and Madison to just kind of process what just happened. And I remember calling my mom. I was like, hey, she's like, hey, how are you? What's going on? How did it go? And I was like, well, I didn't get the job. She's like, oh, that's okay. I was like, but I got a boyfriend. And she's like, oh, that's nice.
The first date ended, if I remember correctly, just telling her I needed to see her again very soon, I believe Saturday. And then I guess our second date was a basketball date. And then that was a very fun night, a long night. And then I said, hey, do you want to go to Hawaii tomorrow? And because I was going anyway. And she said, sure. And so I bought her ticket and she accompanied all of us to Hawaii. And Josh was there and Sarah was there and we had a great time.
God knew I literally needed someone to smack me up beside the head being like, I'm not playing games. I'm not going to play with your heart. I'm a loyal person. I'm a good person. I'm a God-fearing person. I want to date you. I have zero tricks up my sleeve. And he just knew that I needed someone like that. And he literally was like, here's Charlie. And it was just, I think it took me by such surprise in my mind. But in my heart, I was like, no, this is, let's do this.
What was it like dating Erika? Very fun. I mean, she's incredibly loyal, a great sport about traveling and about always having my back. You know, for those people that know me, I sit around most times and don't do much and adverse to traveling, very shy, trying to find my purpose in life. So she was obviously very helpful at fixing all those things.
I truly feel as if every piece of my life prepared me to date him. And eventually, obviously, marry him, but to date him. And I say that because ever since I was little, and even after college and adult years, I traveled all the time. And I was used to living out of a suitcase. I was used to a very unconventional schedule. I was used to the entrepreneur mindset and just in the mode of building and building and building. And so I got him. I understood that. I understood his sporadic schedule because mine was just as sporadic. And I understood the sleepless nights and I understood like having to make the time for someone. It doesn't just come to you. You have to work at it. You have to invest into it. And so dating each other, I loved it. I mean, we got to know each other. I tell you what, you learn something about someone a lot more quickly by traveling with them than you do just seeing them on a weekend for just a getaway. When you travel with someone and you have to go through TSA and you have to go through all the different airports and you have to deal with hotel rooms not being ready and car rentals not working out and missing your flight and every logistic you can imagine because you see every flavor of someone's humanity. And we just, God literally made us for each other.
She was always such a great sport with all the chaos that is my life, and Turning Point USA, and my biggest fan and my biggest cheerleader, and always being just so full of grace and wanted to see me succeed.
So in November, I was scheduling my photo shoot for Proclaim Streetwear because we were relaunching. And Charlie he's so smart, but he's even smarter that day because he worked a deal with the photographer that apparently that was the day. I had no idea. All I knew is that in the morning, I get a message saying, hey, while you're doing your shoot for Proclaim, I would love to do like Christmas photos. Never take photos together, let alone Christmas photos. I was like, okay.
And finally, I was like, oh, let's do pictures together. She's like, you never want to do pictures together. I said, well, today I do.
And I'm positioned in a way where like my hand is on his chest. It's kind of like prom picture, but not aggressive like a prom picture. So I'm like, babe, your heart is racing. And so I think that cued the photographer to be like, okay, let's speed this up. I stood over there. He was standing there. No idea that when I turned around that he was already on one knee. I turned back around, I see him there, I froze, I just lost it. He was crying, I was crying. It was by far the most beautiful, emotion-filled moment that I had ever experienced.